This time of year for me is the best. Christmas has gone, stress, hopefully it's been great, but you know, now we've got a little bit of time with the family to get out and about.
What I'm talking about is that brilliant time between Christmas and the New Year, when it's all about cozying up, looking forward to the new year and sharing the best times with your friends and family.
Dad, can you carve up a little?
And for me, that means cooking up an absolute storm.
Oh, that is good.
So what I want to give you is my best ever recipes for some fantastic festive feasts.
Life is definitely too short for never making this.
From laid-back cooking for those winter days,
What happens in that pan in 6 hours is phenomenal.
through new ideas for using up Christmas leftovers,
Absolutely unadulterated indulgence.
some brilliantly simple recipes for your end-of-year parties,
Just imagine those little capsules of sweetness like bursting in your mouth.
dishes that are the best fun to make and share with your loved ones as we see in the new year.
Cheers, everyone!
Coming up, I've got a gorgeous little pasta recipe that I promise hits a home run every time.
So good.
Plus, a sensational Southern Indian dish that I guarantee is unlike any curry you've ever tasted.
When you get a little crunch of that, it's going to be gorgeous.
And not only that, I've got together some brilliant ideas for incredible party food that'll suit whatever kind of New Year's ding-dong you're having.
Tuck in, guys, tuck in.
But first, here's a one-pot wonder that's super quick to prepare, leaving you more time for more important stuff, like family and friends.
I want a dish that's going to guarantee you the most scrumptious dinner ever. This dish is Bloody Mary beef.
This one's a brilliant time saver, and what's more, you get to mix up Bloody Mary as part of the recipe. Brilliant.
OK, so let's do it. I've got 1 kilo of beautiful beef, brisket here.
It's a forgiving cut of beef with an amazing flavour, perfect for cooking low and slow.
I'm going to get a nice, tight-fitting casserole-type pan like this. OK, we want it tight so it doesn't dehydrate and kind of start catching and burning. We want it to be a nice, blippy, kind of pot roasty sort of atmosphere in there. So on here, I'm just going to hit it up with nice sea salt and a generous amount of pepper. Feel free to go a little bit over the top. And just season it up really beautifully. Pat it, rub it, just move that brisket around in that seasoning. It's gonna be gorgeous. That's the basis of our flavour. And all I wanna do is add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, not expensive stuff, cheap stuff, into a pan. And we're going to brown up that beef. We're going to start that flavour. We want it to be gnarly and dark and really start kind of giving the basis of a really mega sauce, OK?
First in, celery, your classic accompaniment to Bloody Mary. Use a peeler to get rid of the stringy outside bits from the celery.
Let's chop it up. Nice big chunks of celery is exactly what I want. Let's turn over this beef. Look at that. Look at the fat dancing in there. That's what I'm talking about.
Now simply peel and quarter 4 good old red onions.
Here we are. Veg done. Let's have a look here. I'm going to pull that meat to the side and then go in with the celery and the onions. Just throw it all in. Look at that. All those lovely beefy juices. So good. Back in with the beef. Beef, colour, couple of veg, happy days. Let's get on to the fun bit. Bloody Mary.
Add about 750 grams of passata to the jug.
We're going to have a few shakes of Worcestershire sauce, maybe a few shakes more, because the beef will love that.
Give it some welly with a few shakes of Tabasco.
I was always brought up to make a Bloody Mary with a shot of port in it as well. It's like a little chaser. And of course, vodka. About 3 shots of that, or a good old swig. And, you know, this alcohol, of course, in 6 hours cooking is going to cook away. There's no alcohol left, but it's the fragrance that it leaves behind. I think the port you know, for me is old school. Of course, people always tweaked that Bloody Mary recipe, but the port for me is like a really nice, Christmassy, sort of round, beautiful flavour, and it works brilliant, so it's well worth a try.
Bang in some amazing flavour by getting hold of a proper bit of horseradish.
This is just so good with beef. Steaks. It's ridiculous.
And if you can't get the real deal, the jarred stuff, not the creamed, works just as well. Add a twist of lemon and give it a good season with salt and pepper.
Have a little taste. Yeah, great combo.
Now, just pour the Bloody Mary over the beef and the veg.
I'm going to put a bouquet garni in, which is a posh French word for a little gathering of herbs. Thyme, rosemary around at the moment, bay leaves. Just grab a wodge. I'm just going to tie up the bouquet garni. Just tuck that in, right in there. In the early days of cooking, I used to think, will that really make a difference? Yes, it does. Oh, that is good. So just a little water, just a cup, and then I'm going to use a little bit of greaseproof paper and scrunch it up, and then tuck this beautiful dish into bed. Just pop it around. The thing I love about the greaseproof paper is it protects the meat, it keeps moisture in, but it still lets it breathe, and it does sort of allow that beautiful sauce to reduce a little bit. Not too much, not too quick. So there you go, guys, a one-pot wonder. I'm gonna pop that in the oven now for 6 hours at 150 degrees Celsius, which is about 300 Fahrenheit. And all I've got to do now is nothing.
And by doing nothing, I mean get out of the kitchen and enjoy this brilliant time of year. Kick back, relax, have a nice walk, have a wrestle, have a dance, do whatever you fancy. It's Christmas. 6 hours later, and the Bloody Mary beef is almost done.
Okay, let's have a look at this beautiful stew. Can you see there, the edge? That's where it started. It's cooked right down now. If I'm lucky, what we're gonna get is a piece of meat that just completely falls apart. That's what we want. Just give it a shake. Look at that, just falling apart. Beautiful.
I love serving this dish with any dark greens. Kale, spinach, cavolo nero, Savoy cabbage, whatever tickles your fancy.
I'm not gonna toss them with any oil or any butter. Just keep it clean and boiled, but just make sure you season the water really well.
Make up a nice big batch of buttery mash.
There's one thing I love to do with this particular dish, and it will transform the mash: horseradish. Here's the fresh stuff, fantastic, nice and hot, a little bit fresher, but the grated stuff is really, really good as well. So I'm talking literally 2 heaped teaspoons, at least, if not 3. So I'm just gonna stir that through, have a good old taste, give it a good old mix.
Get this succulent bit of beef served up on a big old platter if you have one, so everyone can just get stuck in.
I feel like a little bit of a plaster at the moment, doing a bit of grouting. Look at that. Put that in and around. Really good. And then for the stew, on to our beautiful greens. So good. The incredible thing about this is if you love Bloody Mary as a drink, right, you're gonna love this. And if you don't like it, you're still gonna love it. What happens in that pan in 6 hours is phenomenal. I'm gonna start bringing over the meat. Although this is slow cooking, this is really fast. You know, fast to put together, really simple to serve.
Garnish with a bit of the real horseradish if you have it.
Just grated over the top, just to give it that nice, hot, beautiful smell. And then just a little drizzle of nice extra virgin olive oil is a beautiful way to serve it. Absolutely gorgeous. So there you go, guys. Bloody Mary beef, a proper winter warmer, and absolutely brilliant for a festive little feast.
As well as showing you some gorgeous new recipes for these beautiful winter days, I want to take you back to Christmases past for a look at some of my all-time favourite festive belters. And these zingy, crunchy breakfast tacos are just about the best reason I can think of to get out of bed early on a winter's morning.
First things first, I've got some pork belly. I'm just going to slice it up into sort of centimetre dice. So just chop it up pretty roughly like that.
I'm adding 1 teaspoon of sweet smoked paprika.
It's an absolute known fact that food with spice is one of the best cures for hangover. It honestly is. It will have a hum of heat to it, but it won't be super, super hot. And then fennel seeds, again, very fragrant, works really, really well with pork. Just a teaspoon, and I'm going to leave those holes so they've kind of almost got a little pop and a crack to them.
Put the pork into a hot frying pan. I'm cooking mine over some hot coals inside a wood oven. But you just need a hob on a medium-high heat for about 10 minutes.
What I really love about this breakfast is it's not expected. It's not the kind of flavours that we do in Britain, but when you put it in your gob and swallow it, it's like happy food. It wakes you up, it makes you feel really, really good. So we need things to go with it, but kind of just freshen it up. So I've got avocado, brilliant thing in the morning. So a little avo, get your little half, get a spoon, just put it underneath like that, run it around the edge, and just pop it out. It's all about contrast. Hot and cold, crunchy and soft, sort of sweet and a little bit of heat and citrus. So we've got avocado, want to get some nice tomatoes.
This can be the best surprise breakfast, so it needs to be vibrant and full of colour. I'm chopping up some mixed tomatoes and some coriander to make a kind of salsa.
I'm going to slice up the avocado into sort of like centimetre, well, same size as some tomatoes really, centimetre dice. Just chop that up. Let's just have a look. You can see in here, it even sounds different. So what I want to do is just add some haricot beans, so just half a tin. So we've got that whole kind of baked bean vibe going on as well. Look at that. Nice. Okay, back to our little salsa here.
With a good old squeeze of lime and a hit of bright red chilli.
I'm going to season it with salt and just sort of almost dress it. Gorgeous. So look, everything's looking pretty damn good. We've got this beautiful limey salsa that's going to wake up your taste buds. The pork, I can hear, is, look, and the lovely thing is, by cooking the pork in its own fat, the fennel seeds, the paprika, when those beans go in, if you look, you can see they've almost puffed. They've almost popped like sort of sugar puffs, right? Which is brilliant because you get that lovely texture. Don't think baked bean stodgy. It's kind of more like kind of popping corn, sugar puffs, sort of deliciousness. Now, what you could do if you wanted to is put a tiny bit of honey in to bring out the most incredible shine, but also the salty, the spicy, and the sweet. It's the perfect way to wake up your mouth. Get a little bit of tea towel or something like that, fold it in half lengthwise, and sort of ruffle it up a bit.
Now, line up the tacos because this kicking breakfast is good to go.
Look at that. It takes about 10 minutes to create pork that is just crispy like that and full of character. Delicious. Actually, I think the only thing we didn't do was season it. Silly boy. You can just put them in here like that. Oh, the flavours are incredible.
Add a good sprinkle of coriander. And finally, a drop of yogurt to act as a fire extinguisher. And there you have it, my brilliant, crisp and zesty festive tacos.
Oh yeah, it's crunchy, it's hot, it's spicy, but the salsa is so fresh. You know, you can't help it but wake you up and make you feel good. Brilliant. Oh, really, really nice. It's like the perfect little mouthful.
This year is almost over, but seriously, for me, this last week is the best bit. Coming up, I've got the most fantastic crowd pleaser for you. My homemade waffles dunked in a rich, silky, hot chocolate. Just right for this chilly time of year, they're a sweet winter warmer that'll take your festive treats to a whole new level. But first, I've got a gorgeous little dish that's a perfect way to use up all the leftover cheese that you've got hanging around in the fridge after Christmas.
I'm gonna give you the most delicious cheesy oozy pasta. It's so good, so simple, and this dish is totally inspired by a northern Italian alpine dish called pasta fonduta. It's kind of their expression of a fondue, but with pasta, of course, and it's a real treat. Total comfort food, and it delivers every single percentage of gorgeousness and So here we go. A pan of boiling water. We can do that. Then I want a bowl of some description that we'll put on top of that. So we're gonna create a water bath, and that's gonna be a nice, gentle heat.
Add 2 or 3 tablespoons of mascarpone or creme fraiche to the bowl.
Now, guys, I know at home, in your fridges, post-Christmas, you've got a whole mixture of odds and ends of cheeses, yeah? Okay, so here's the kind of deal. We wanna have about 50-50 mascarpone or creme fraiche and your other cheese. Now, we want good melters, things like cheddar, things like fontina. You know, have a little look. You can kind of tell if it's a good melter normally if it's that kind of shiny looking cheese. But also, we can mix it up with things that kind of have some funk, okay? And that funk is up to you. Over here, I've got the cheeses that I had for Christmas.
Grate or chop up your cheese. I'm going for about 60% cheddar, propped up with a couple of other nutty, deep flavoured varieties and a naughty crumble of blue cheese.
So in with the cheese, and there you go. So just mix that cheese in, and over the period of about 5 to 10 minutes, that's just gonna kind of melt into like a kind of cheesy lava. Now look, think about it, amazing melted cheese, pasta, that's a home run already, yeah? It's gonna be so elegant and silky and gorgeous, but I wanna go an extra step further to give it a little crunch. So we're gonna make some pan grattata, dead simple.
Pan grattata is basically posh, crunchy breadcrumbs. Bang a couple of quality slices of white bread into your toaster, then
Just put the pan on the heat. I'm just gonna get 4 or 5 nuts. And I know you've got a load of these around.
crack open your nuts and throw them in the food processor, along with your toast and whatever herbs you fancy.
Marjoram's really, really good, juicy and gorgeous, so that's very, very nice. Or simply thyme or rosemary tips.
And for the all-important hum, go in with a clove of garlic and whiz it all up.
So that's what we want, nice, fine breadcrumbs. And I'm gonna put that into a pan now, on a medium heat, and we're just gonna toast that up. And this, guys, will completely change any pasta dish you ever do. So look, we're looking good. We've got the pan grattata done. That's gonna be awesome. The cheese, I mean, look at that. I mean, oh, Bennett. So give that a nice little mix up. I'm gonna take that off the heat now, because I don't wanna overheat the cheese, because if you keep doing that, you might split it. Wow, look at that. Now, the water.
Use the water you've heated your cheese over to cook your pasta. I'm using tagliolini, but you can use tagliatelle, fettuccine, whatever shape you want.
So guys, look, this combination is gonna be amazing, guaranteed, okay? It's just the way life is. Breadcrumbs, pasta, cheesy sauce, come on! But that's not the genius. The genius is in texture. How light and silky we can make it, how it feels in your mouth. That's the really clever bit. Let's do perfection. All I wanna do is get a little bit of my sauce, and remember, the Italians don't over-sauce their pastas, okay? You just need a little bit. There we go. That's more than enough for one portion of pasta. So then what I want you to do is take that pasta, and I want that water. See that water? That's important. So we're gonna go in with my pasta, and we're just gonna make the most beautiful, silky emulsification ever. Look at that. And you want it to be just a little bit too wet. So don't be afraid to go back to the water and add a little bit more. And you should be able to kind of toss it. Look at that. That's what we're talking about. And once you've done that, then we can just pour it. Gorgeous. Then I've got my lovely pan grattata. It's hot and it's crisp. And I'm just gonna scatter that over the top, and it'll sizzle, listen. And that is a beautiful thing. This is the kind of food that you want this time of year. Absolutely unadulterated indulgence. Really nice. And you've used up all those lovely odds and ends of cheese in the fridge. All you've got to do now is just get a plate of this, collapse on a sofa, watch a film, Happy days. Oh, it's so good.
I've had a little dig in the archives and found something a bit special for a midwinter family treat.
We're going to do homemade waffles and the very, very best thick, malty, chocolatey hot chocolate. So let's crack on with the waffle mix. So first of all, you want to have 2 eggs, nice free-range eggs in a bowl with 300 ml of lovely milk straight in. Give that a little whisk up with a good pinch of salt. As soon as you've done that, you can add 225 grams of self-raising flour. And as soon as you've done that, to add to the self-raising flour, we're going to use baking powder. You want 2.5 level tablespoons. It's going to kind of go holy and bubbly, and it's going to have that lovely sort of souffle sort of texture. And down here, I've got 100 grams of melted butter. Just melt it in a pan or in the microwave or something like that, or on your fire, as you do. Whisk it up, and you get this beautiful, thick batter. And if I show you the texture, absolutely gorgeous. Quite thick. Give it a good old whisk. That's what we're looking for, okay?
It's best to leave the batter to rest for half an hour or so, and then the air bubbles start to form.
Here's one I made earlier. You can see if I move that away, see those holes that are created in there? That's a nice sign.
If you've got a waffle iron, then great. But if not, I've perfected this recipe for a regular griddle pan or even a frying pan, buttered up and piping hot.
And then we're going to go in with our batter. Let me put it here. Scrape the batter into this pan.
Smooth the batter out for one giant waffle. Or if you're not feeling so brave, smaller blobs are a bit easier to flip and give you lovely little individual ones.
Push it to the edges, and you're going to get an incredible waffle. I'm quite happy with that. We're going to whack it back in there.
Altogether, this will take you about 20 worthwhile minutes. Drop the heat down to medium and leave it to cook on the first side for about 8 minutes.
So, the best hot chocolate ever. We've got 2 pints of milk here, just getting warm and simmering up. I want to show you how to make your own homemade sort of hot chocolate mega mix. This is epic hot chocolate, okay?
Get a jar and put 4 heaped tablespoons of good cocoa powder in. Add 3 heaped tablespoons of icing sugar and 2 heaped tablespoons of a malted drink like Horlicks, and then 2 of corn flour. Finally, 100 grams of grated chocolate. And to make it, just add 4 heaped tablespoons of the mix to 2 pints of warm milk, and then just leave it to slowly simmer until it's thick and gorgeous.
So let's have a look at this lovely waffle. It's had about 8 minutes. It might be a little bit early. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Ah, there you go, look at that. Beautiful.
The other side will take an extra 8 minutes, and then you'll need a final 1 minute on each side just to make it really crispy on the outside and fluffy in the middle.
If you look at the hot chocolate now, look, it's nice and thick. Just pull that off the heat. Look at that. You know that's going to be good. Remember, this hasn't been sweetened yet. So what I like to do is just smooth the maple syrup along it, and then I like to cut the waffle into little soldiers. Let's get our beautiful hot chocolate on the go. The whole point of this is you get your lovely little bit of waffle, pull it apart, dunk it. Look at that. Oh my Lord. It's so good. Yeah, you don't want to be doing this every week or every day, but it is Christmas, and life is definitely too short for never making this.
It's party time! So let's think about welcoming in the new year with a few corkers.
Dad, can you carve up a little? Mum, do you want me to do you one?
I'm going to give you some brilliant ideas for party eating that will feed loads of people without stressing you out too much. Starting with this classy little gem.
Okay, boys and girls, Posh pork kebabs. It's going to be amazing. I want to do a dish that is so simple to put together and makes it look like you've been cooking for hours and hours and hours. This is 3 kilos. Beautiful bit of free-range pork. Look at that. The butcher's scored the skin and taken the skin off, right? So there's not really much to do.
Get a nice, gorgeous covering of sea salt, pepper, and whole fennel seeds on your joint.
And then just a little bit of olive oil, just to get things going. I'm just going to score that fat on this side, and that lets the flavour in as well. And I'm just going to rub it. Really, really nice. Very, very simple. Do the same with the skin as well, and it'll be the best crackling ever. Okay, so we've got seasoning happening, and really, that's all we're doing to the pork.
To make incredible treacly onions, slice up 6 red onions.
And let's get that into the pork here. Now, secret ingredients. This is pomegranate molasses. You can get it in the supermarkets. It's a kind of syrup of pomegranate juice. Oh my Lord, it's so good, so intense. It's got that kind of balsamiciness.
I'm going in heavy with about 150 mils of pomegranate molasses and matching that amount with red wine vinegar. It might sound like a lot, but trust me.
This is gonna give you the most ridiculous onions ever to go in your flatbread.
Lay the onions in a tray, put the pork on top, fat side up, and cook in the oven for about 1 hour, 20 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius.
And then this skin, I'm gonna put on the bars, straight on the bars, above the pork, so it just gets crackly and it naturally bastes the pork, and it'll just look after it so you can really just leave it. That's it.
And get back to your party.
Hello, my little gorgeous girl. Are you ready to eat something handheld?
Yeah.
Then 90 minutes later,
This is what you get for your money. Lovely roasted pork and the best crackling ever.
drain the excess fat off the onions and get them in a bowl.
It's just ridiculously beautiful, intense onions. The molasses, if you're wondering what the hell it did, is incredible. Sweet and sour. Let's just try an onion. Oh, it's so good. So good. Oh. Okay, I've got the cracklings here. I'm just gonna snap it up. Crush it. I'm getting quite excited now because this is definitely my kind of cooking. Look at that. And you know that whatever you sprinkle that on is going to bring a big old smile to someone's face.
Cut and fan out the pork. To stop it drying out, just drizzle it with some of the juice from the onions. Then pile that board high with all the salady bits.
So tomatoes, cucumbers, iceberg, mint, crackling, chilli, pork, onions. Come on, man, whatever you put that on is going to be beautiful. And then pomegranates, okay? These little bad boys here are so beautiful. They're really good this time of year, right? Cut them in half, like this. Get your hand, like that. Get yourself a spanker, and then just spank these pomegranates over the whole thing. And just imagine those little capsules of sweetness like bursting in your mouth.
Now, warm up the tortillas in a pan. There's no need to use any oil.
It only needs to go in the pan for like 20 seconds just to make it really bendy and gorgeous. Let's build one. Let's take some of that gorgeous sweet onions. A little of the iceberg, some tomatoes, 2 beautiful pieces of pork. Let's have some cracklings. Cracklings getting smashed on top. Hit up the chilies. We like the chili. Yes, we do. We like the chili. The mint definitely makes it delicious and fragrant. And then those beautiful capsules of pomegranates. Gorgeous. Just literally wrap it up, even fold the bottom so the juice don't go everywhere. And that, my friend, is a posh pork kebab. And that will knock you into next year with style. Okay, guys. A little bit of kebab action. You've got your plate there.
Yeah.
Onions first,
Yeah.
then pork,
Yeah.
and then hit it up with your crackling. And then if you like the chili sauce, you like the chili sauce? I like the chili sauce. You go, ooh. And then you roll it up, and you roll it up, and then all you do is just put it in your gob.
Now, if you're having a bash this New Year's Eve, I've got a recipe for you that's right up there. It really is one of my all-time favourites. Bear with me, I'm taking you to Yorkshire a few summers back when I first made it.
Mini Yorkshire puddings with potted smoked trout and horseradish.
Great as a starter or even as a party nibble, these mouthfuls of joy will go down a storm, whatever kind of do you're having. Take 200 grams of cream cheese and then thin it out with some milk and season it. Grate in a good whack of horseradish and then add the juice of a lemon.
What are you after? No sugar cubes here, mate. You want it to have attitude. If it's a bit floppy, like a dodgy old handshake, it's no good at all. You need it to be a big old firm handshake, right? So mix this up, make it light and silky. Now I'm using some chives, just because I think it's delicate. And of course that little hum of onion sort of is really good at joining up all those flavours, do you know what I mean? Look, everyone in the world loves Yorkshire puddings. So when you get those bad boys coming out of the oven, hot and sizzling, and then you have this beautiful flaky potted smoked trout smeared on there, bang it in your gob. Happy days.
Take the trout, think texture and just flake up that beautiful smoked fish.
And the more chunks in there, the better. The last thing in the world I want to do is create a mousse. Not into that at all.
Dish it out into a small plate or mug. Add some finely chopped chives and a little lemon zest and a good pinch of pepper, along with a little bit of rapeseed oil.
Brilliant, simple, humble, delicious food. And the point is, we put that now into the fridge, get it nice and cold, and we serve that with lovely, hot, sizzling baby Yorkshire puddings. Absolute classic. So here goes the recipe. 4 large organic free-range eggs, right? Do it in a jam jar and memorise the height of the eggs, right? So look, just under there, centimetre under there is my line, okay? And fill it up exactly to the same amount. Boom. And then flour, again to exactly the same amount. Now, I'm just gonna whisk this up before I put the flour in. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt. That was pepper. It's been a long day. So get some bubbles in there into that batter was absolutely key.
Frothing nicely, the flour can now go in.
So 4 eggs, same quantity of milk, same quantity of flour. Who in the world can forget that? Easy.
You want it to be light, but thick enough with a few bubbles, and then get them straight in the oven.
Get this batter and just literally pour that in.
The tin's already been coated with regular sunflower oil.
Obviously that's screaming hot.
So cook this nice and fast at 240 degrees Celsius, 475 degrees Fahrenheit.
In a regular oven, close that door and just don't touch it. And if it's glass, you can turn the light on and sit there and watch it, which I do often, and I don't think there's anything wrong in admitting that you sit there and you watch Yorkshire puddings cook. But where it's close to the fire, you can see it's rising, so I'm gonna just turn this.
The smoked trout comes out of the fridge, and now I can crack on with the leafage.
So there's a little bit of watercress, pinch of salt, little squeeze of lemon juice, and just dress up. Beautiful. I haven't put any fat on there at all, you don't need it, but just peppery, mustardy, little bundle of that. That is what it's all about. The great Yorkshire pudding. Look, you've got the little well in the middle there. Let me take my dear friend, Mr. Yorkshire smoked trout. Oh my Lord. Out of the oven. Eat them quick. Don't talk. No rubbish. That is probably one of the nicest mouthfuls of food I've ever had.
Darling, can you take this and put it on the table for me? Do you know what? I just love New Year's Eve.
Tuck in, guys, tuck in.
There aren't any rules or traditions, so you can just cook out the year any way you like, as long as it's properly delicious.
You smash it in your hand and it crumbles, and it brings you good luck.
So I'm going to give you my perfect menu for the last meal of the year. Beginning with my Keralan fish curry.
This is a really, really exciting recipe to cook. Physically, visually, smell, sound, it's really, really good.
It's ridiculously fragrant and just loaded with flavour. And it's a great party dish that will take your New Year's Eve in an unexpected direction.
Big old tray on your gas hob. We're going to put about 3 tablespoons of oil into the tray. We're going to go straight in with 2 heaped teaspoons of mustard seeds. Fennel seeds, 2. Beautiful, whole. Fenugreek seeds, really nice and savoury and perfumed and fragrant. All of these are going to start a wonderful selection of flavours going on. Curry leaves, you can get these in decent supermarkets, you can get them in Indian supermarkets, you can get them online, and you can freeze them as well. These will transform your curries. What's going to happen is the leaves and the mustard seeds will start to pop. Right, so now, let's start building up the story.
Slice a thumb-sized piece of ginger, and I mean a big thumb like one of mine.
I've slightly adapted this for sort of lazy days and sort of a little bit of stress-free party food, and I'm tray baking it, and I think people love a tray bake because all the effort goes up front and then it goes in the oven and you don't have to worry about it. This is when it all starts smelling gorgeous.
Keep on building those flavours. Slice 2 red chillies, 4 cloves of garlic, 3 white onions, and get them in a tray.
Move that pan around. Get a cloth, give it a shake. And this is proper cooking. We're nearly there. All I want is a red and a yellow pepper. Instead of mucking around, just get that stalk and push it in, right? And then bust it open. And then you can pop this out.
Drop in the sliced peppers.
You should be able to get this tray bake in the oven in about 15 minutes, which is about 1 minute's work per friend. That's good. Big flavours guaranteed. Coriander. I'll use the leaves later, but the stalks, very, very good. Don't throw them away. And just get them fine.
Season with a good pinch of salt and pepper, and you need to get it in now, because it's hard to play catch-up later.
Look at that. Beautiful colours.
Right, now for the fish.
A whole side of salmon. You can get these in the supermarkets on great deals at the moment, but go to your fishmonger as well, have a little chat. Make sure it's scaled and pin-boned. And I'm just going to put my salmon fillet in there. So put the peppers over the salmon just to flavour that skin and then kind of just push it mainly off, OK? Look at that. Big flavour. That is now going to go in the oven.
Roast it nice and low at 160 degrees Celsius. That's 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. While my curry is gently cooking away, let's have a look at that gorgeous pudding to serve up for afters.
I'm going to make what I'm calling an apple pepper pot pudding.
Inspired by a trip down to the West Country a few years back, it puts a whole new spin on festive spices. Serving this is a fantastic way to bring in the new year. First up, we want a lush, sticky syrup, 200 grams of butter, and roughly the same as sugar.
In here as well, we're going to spice it. I want a level teaspoon of cinnamon, a level teaspoon of ginger, and a level teaspoon of ground cloves. Then I just want to add 2 tablespoons of molasses. Look at that. So shiny and gorgeous. This will completely change it to like a caramel sauce that you've never tried before. It's got real kick, real attitude. And then simply whack it onto a hob. Do you like my new kitchen? Whack it on the hob, basically bring it up to the boil, create a nice little syrup. You follow me? And when that's not looking good, then we can chuck the apples in.
Quarter and decore about 6 eating apples. Throw them in the syrup for a couple of minutes to soften. Meanwhile, make a simple sponge. Whip up 125 grams of butter with the same again of sugar into a creamy mixture, dead easy. 2 eggs, in they go. Nice free-range ones, of course. And keep an eye on your apples. You don't want them to get overcooked.
Can you take that off now? It's done its job.
So then you want 225 grams of self-raising flour. Just put half in now. Give it a good old mix. And then I'm going to add cider. You know, to be able to cook with cider is a brilliant thing. Not just in lovely stews and broths and sort of using it to deglaze roasting pans and stuff like that and make gravy, but also you can do it in desserts and it's gorgeous. Always use a dry cider. That's 200 mils of cider going in and that will loosen up nicely. Add the rest of the flour along with half a level teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. It just gives it a little turbocharge because you've got this frumpy, sticky toffee pudding-like outside and then you've got this lovely light sort of sponge on the inside. And finally, the zest of 2 zingy oranges. Just literally the bare outside of the orange will be just fragrant and sweet and lovely. Just look. You know this is going to be good. Pour the apple mixture into the loose bottom cake tin. And I'm going to put about half of this sauce in here as well. Then top it with your sponge. And then just sort of squidge it about the place to the edges. All of that beautiful sort of toffee sauce has kind of got pushed up the edges. So it means you're going to kind of get caramel on the bottom and up the sides. And it's going to be gorgeous. Whack it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. And 35 minutes later, it's golden, gorgeous, and you're going to love it. So what I need to do now is just put this plate on top, confidently just flip it. Just use your tea towels, hold this top and flip. Dead simple, no drama. And hopefully it's a beautiful thing. You can see how the sort of sponge is cooked in and amongst the apples. Apples are softened up. Got a little bit of local clotted cream. This has got memories of my nan and school dinners. Nice ones. Got that lovely boiling sauce. It is unlike anything I've ever tried before. Gorgeous. Nice one. What a gorgeous New Year's Eve treat. That's pudding sorted. Now back to the main, my southern Indian curry. I've tray baked my salmon with onions, peppers and spices, and now I need to finish it off.
So the fish has had about 20 minutes. 160 is quite low. It's lower than even cooking pastry. So I quite like that because it just makes the fish sort of soften. What I want to do is now turn it into like a curry.
Quarter a couple of handfuls of nice ripe cherry tomatoes and pour in 2 tins of coconut milk.
Scrape any kind of sticky goodness off the bottom of the tray because that equals flavour. The coconut milk, it's tropical, it's fragrant. You literally want to just simmer it and that's kind of it. You don't want to boil it and boil it and boil it because you lose that flavour.
This is for a party, so I want to pimp it up. So I've got a couple of fresh peeled prawns per person. But you can add any seafood you love, and that's it.
So really, this curry is kind of done. The prawns literally take 3 or 4 minutes to cook. It's on a nice little simmer now. Just keep turning those prawns around. You can see them going pink from the blue, which is quite cool.
And now for a trick I love.
Just peel that lovely skin off the salmon. But what I want to do is make it crispy. So they're going to almost be like little poppadoms, you know. So I'm going to put that back under the grill.
You know when the salmon is cooked because it just breaks up easily.
Look at that, just falling apart. Really, really nice.
I'm adding the juice and zest of a lemon and a big handful of coriander leaves.
Our skin, I think, is in a good place. We just have to let that cool down. Looks super ugly. Trust me, bear with me. So look, beautiful fish curry, ready, raring to go, seasoned to taste, light, colourful, gorgeous, unexpected. Let's do a portion, but before we do that, our kind of boring bit of old fish skin. It's not boring anymore, listen. And just crunch that over And when you get a little crunch of that, it's going to be gorgeous.
Cook up a lovely big batch of fluffy white rice and just pile your curry on top.
Really gorgeous. Well, don't forget, a little bit of the crispy skin can go on top, a little bit of coriander. So there you go, guys, a beautiful South Indian Keralan curry. Really nice to make, great fun, proper tasty, and great party food. I think they're gonna like this. Baby, will you just guide that in for me? Go for it. Dad, can you pass that curry and pass it down so people can help themselves? Thank you very much.
And there you have it, my favourite recipes for a cracking festive feast.
Christina, would you like a poppadom?
So whether you're cozying up on a lazy winter's day or smashing out a party to remember, you've just got to try them out. So whatever you do, guys, have a wonderful new year. Health and happiness to you all, and let's make this one a belter.
Cheers, everyone!